Hello, friends. I'm excited to be here again tonight. I'm Robin with Center Street Decor, SVGs. So I'm hopping on here because I'm doing some painting and I wanted to take you along on my painting tutorial journey. So I am going to share something with you that was that one of my viewers pointed out. And if you remember our cute little witch in the cauldron. So I actually didn't do a tutorial on this. I think I did a little bit of recording on it, but it wasn't a Facebook live. Excuse me. So I wanted to hop on and just show you how I did this. I had a request to, if you can see, these darling little ruffles on her shoes. It's like her socks are sticking out from her shoes. So yeah, like her socks are sticking out. And so I wanted to be able to show you how I did that. So um, it was kind of a trial and error for me, and I'll just show you the best way that works for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to finish up this cauldron. I've already done all the base coating, but now I want to go ahead and just start doing some of the shading on this. So I'm going to tip you down, and we are going to have some fun painting this really, really cute witch that's stuck in a cauldron. She is in trouble. Toil in trouble. This witch is in trouble. Okay, let's flip you down so I can show you my workstation. See, show you where I've been doing a little bit. So I've got, you can see I've done all the base coating, which didn't take long at all. It's just kind of a quick painting. So you can see I've got all the stuff around me. So I've got my witch here. And so this witch is in 3 layers. So this actually stands up on a shelf. And so it is 3 layers thick. And so that helps her to stand up really well. I'm knocking over my witch shoes that are back here on my table as well. Okay, so with this witch, this piece where her legs are, that is the center piece. So we have the front piece, which is the cauldron, and I've already base coated that black. And then we put the witch's legs, and then on the very back I add another layer right here. And if you know, with my videos, I like to give just a quick rub with a baby wipe on the back with a burnt umber paint. That just gives it kind of a finished look. Oh, that reminds me, let's do the legs, so the legs can be a finished look too. So let's go ahead and we'll start with that. And this one we did purple and black stockings or leggings or whatever she is wearing. So this time I went ahead and I did the purple and orange. I thought that would be kind of a fun way to do that. So let's turn that over. And I think I want to do a little bit on this piece here. So I've still got some brown paint that's still wet. I'll just get my baby wipe in it. And we're just doing a base coat just a really a light base coat, just to give it a finished look, so that if you are going to be selling your items, it looks nice. Okay, so I want to do a little bit on this because a little bit of that sticks out. So if I turn it around, and I didn't do it on this one, but the bubbles, you can see the bubbles there. So this time I'm going to go ahead and just rub this on here. Oh, and I can hear my dog. She's wanting something. I don't know if I gave her some dinner, so she's fed, and they've been outside, but she's getting older, so she struggles a little bit with wanting to go inside and outside and outside and inside. Okay, so that just gives that a finished look right there. So now let's go ahead and just do some shading with the white. I'm going to get some white paint here, and this I used with my I might have to go put her outside really quick. So I already used this when I was painting my witch shoes, so I'm going to be right back. So sorry for the delay. Okay, I'm back, low. I know that's kind of crazy when you're on a live, and then you either have to take care of your kids or your dogs, which I need to do. Oop, I ran, so now I'm out of breath. Okay, let's get some white paint. So we can just do our quick shading on here. Probably didn't need it that much, did I? Because I'm just doing shading, not base coating. So, okay, so I'm just going to go around the bubbles just a little bit. So I pick up a little bit of paint on here, rub it back and forth, just get some blending. And now I'm just going to kind of just follow the outline of the bubbles. So these bubbles, same thing. I just kind of did just a couple strokes of white, highlighting. I guess I'm highlighting. I forget. Either I'm highlighting or I'm shading. Usually when I'm shading, I use a darker color. And highlighting is more for a lighter color. I might need to turn this, and if you wanted to follow and make a bubble stick out a little bit more, that's what I'm going to do here on that one. Maybe we'll do this one a little bit too. A little highlight in there. Just little highlights wherever you think they need it, just in a couple spots. Let's do the shoes. So I'm going to take the shoes off my tape. Put them on there so we could, I put them on there so that I could paint them. Forgot what I was saying. So we'll put the bubbles aside. So I'm actually going to do the highlight on the bottom of the shoes because she's upside down, thinking the light is more coming from that direction. So that's why we're going to do the bottom of the shoes. I have a lot of water in my brush. That's better. And then maybe we'll do just a little bit. We'll do a little bit on this underneath side too. Well, it's the top of the shoe. Okay, and the other one that we need to do a little bit of highlighting on is our cauldron. Let's go ahead and get our cauldron. Tap some of that water off. And you will find it's interesting, but different brushes hold different amounts of water. And when you think you've pushed out as much water as you need to, sometimes it even has more water than you want. So I'm just going to go just around the edges of the cauldron. Flip it around. And I can see, you see how, I don't know if you can see, but as I drag, I start to get like more drag marks. That's just because my brush doesn't have very much water in it. So I need to pick up a little bit more water, dip my brush in the corner of my brush in my paint, and then just walk it. Brush, 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 brush. Okay, oh, I can see a lot of water. If it just looks wet, almost like the water's running, Then I'll tap my brush just like I did on my paper towel again. Because this brush is different. And all my brushes are a little bit different, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Stick a little bit underneath. We'll do the top of the cauldron, even though you won't see much of it because the other bubbles are going to be covering, but we'll still do it. Sometimes I just drag, and then I do a long stroke just to kind of blend it all. Okay, the other thing, let's go ahead, we're going to do a little bit of highlight like on her knees. On the witch's knees, this poor witch, oh my goodness. I mean, who thought of putting witch legs in a cauldron? The poor witch falls in her own cauldron. Oh, crazy lady, huh? That's okay, I can say crazy lady because that's what my kids say to me. Crazy lady. And I'm okay with that. It's more fun to be a little on the crazy side, I guess. And that's all the highlighting. If you wanted to highlight between the stripes, you could. But I'm just going to highlight just on the outside legs of her. So just the outside legs. And then I just need to do one more shading this time. I'm going to do a little bit on the Toil and Trouble, but I need some brown for that. I'm going to use my burnt umber. Almost went in the white. Okay, just brush, just blending that. And if you think, oh, that's just a mess, just grab a baby wipe before it dries. Just wipe it off. Just gently wipe it off. And then you can, just gently wipe it off and then you can try again. And I have done that. I have done that before because sometimes I don't always like my shading or my highlighting. But I've actually learned to embrace it. Sometimes I think, oh, that's probably a lot of highlighting. That's a lot. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Makes it look more vintage. Makes it just look like it's been around. It's kind of an old sign. So I'm just brushing just on the edge. I'll hold the center so it doesn't move. And I'm just going to drag straight down. I'm not worried about trying to go zigzaggy on the edge, just kind of a straight down. And that's all I'll do on that, just to make it look kind of like an old sign or an old tag. So its project actually comes together really quite quick. So I don't know if you can see, I'll hold this up, but if you can see the glitter on there. So once I get finished with this project, I'll take it outside in the garage. I have a box that quite a big box that I put, I just drop things in the bottom of it and then I spray it. So I've added some glitter onto there. So I need to give it a sealer because sometimes this glitter comes off. But actually when I sprayed this cauldron, I sprayed it quite heavily. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just was thinking it needs to be really sparkly. So we'll spray it some glitter, but I'll go ahead and just glue everything together, put it together, and that's what we'll do now. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to start moving my pieces out of the way and get my glue ready. I'm going to put these pieces together first. So I'm looking at my other little witch, making sure I kind of got everything, and I'm pretty sure I've got everything already painted. So now the fun part, once you do the painting, which I do think the painting is the fun part too, but I also like getting the glue and putting it together, just making it come to life. So I usually stand up my project and just feel with the edges of my fingers to make sure things are lined up where they need to be lined up. It's already starting to glue. And I'm like, I'm not ready. Okay. Now I'm ready. Now it can glue. That would be okay now. Just hold it down for a few seconds. And then we've got the back piece. We're going to go ahead and glue this back piece on. Oh, I see a little bit of spots that I went on the outside of my wood with my paint. So we're going to actually clean up those edges really quick. I use this is just a furniture marker. I've used a lot of different markers. I've used Sharpies. I've used a lot of different things. But this is actually my favorite lately. It's just a furniture marker. It is from the Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 3. There are 3 different colors, black, brown, and a burgundy. And I never use the burgundy, not for this anyway. But I use the black and the brown. And so what I do is just look on the edges and see if there's a little bit over. Yeah, that just doesn't bother me. But I've got some purple on the legs down here. Just gonna give just a quick brush just to clean it up just a little bit. And here's another trick that I'll show you. So right here, I cannot get my marker in that area. And so what I will do is I will just take a paintbrush. If you have I don't even know if I could get in there with a very fine marker. So I want to clean up just a little bit. I have some purple paint in there. So I'm going to see if I have any black paint left in here. There might not be much. I might need to get a little bit of black paint. So I just take a little bit of black paint on the tip of a brush, and then I just run it just along that area. And I'll do that if I can't get into that little area with the marker. So, yep, just a quick and easy fix. So that's my tip for if you have some overage with paint, your paint gets over the edge and you can't get in there with a marker, just go ahead and take a little bit of a paintbrush and a little bit of black paint, just a little bit. It goes a long way. So let's put these cute witch's shoes. So I tried a few different ideas when I was doing the ribbons on this cute little witch. I'm going to put this over here so you can see the ribbons. So we're going to go to those ribbons in just a few minutes. I'll put the tag on as well. So I'm going to find a dry area on my paper towel. And I'm going to put my shoe on here, match it up, line it up. Sometimes this glue dries faster than I want it to. I want a little wiggle room, and it gives me a little, but not much. Okay. Got her shoe on here. I'll put her other shoe. And I find a dry area to push this glue because I have found if I put it into wet, wow, that makes a big mess. It sticks to, okay, wait a minute, what did I do? Okay, you know what I did? I can see what I did. For some reason, I have the same shoe. Okay, I'm going to go over and see if I have another shoe really quick. Okay, I have another shoe, and it is the correct shoe, but I'm going to paint this one black. But I guess the reason I didn't use this one because it was right on the edge of my wood, and I didn't think it was going to fit right. And so, yeah, I don't know what I did. I probably painted that one on the wrong side. Have you ever done that? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're just going to give it a quick paint. And while it dries, we can start finishing the tag and everything else. So I just painted these with a sponge. That my husband has gone downstairs to watch his show. And I thought I would hop on and do it live. And I thought, oh, the dogs will be okay. But now I need to go let them inside because they're like, I'm done outside. I'm done outside. Okay, poor witch. One shoe on and one shoe off, huh? Let's go ahead and put her tag on. And I'll show you how I do. Oh, let's do the bubbles. Let's put the bubbles on. So the bubbles are just going to rest against her legs right there. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue where her legs are. Just at the top of the legs right there. I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth just a little bit. And then I'll just center it. And then just push it firmly down. We can add our bubbles, so you can just start placing your bubbles wherever you think that they need to be placed. I'm going to move that shoe out of the way so I don't accidentally use it. Don't want to accidentally use it, so just put your bubbles wherever you think your bubbles should fall. If they are falling outside of the cauldron, remember to just to leave a space for your tag. I usually put that smallest dot farthest down. Okay, we have one more. Got to decide where to put it. And if you think if you have the SVG file and you think your cauldron needs more bubbles, just cut out more bubbles. You have loads of bubbles. Okay, while our shoe is drying, we're going to work on our tag. So let me show you how I've done the tag. So you can use any kind of thin twine. You can use a a brown jute if you want. And if you've seen my other videos, you've seen me do this several times. This time I think maybe I'll add a piece of orange. I really like to use the lace, a piece of black. And I'm trying to see if, I think maybe I'll add a couple extra pieces of this purple, just this purple twine. Okay, so what I like to do is I just put it through Oh, you can see this didn't cut all the way through, so sometimes I flip the wood over and use it for another project, but you're not going to see the back of this. And this is the skull. Can you see that cute skull? That is for my Halloween bottles, my spooky bottles. I'm just about to list those in the Etsy shop. I was hoping to get there today, but I ended up running a ton of errands today. I had some visits that I needed to make. I want the orange on here, but I don't want the orange in the front. I don't want it to be the star of the show. So I'm putting it behind the black. But once I tie it up, you never know what piece of ribbon is going to end up being the star of the show. So I just lay it on there, and then I'm just going to pull it as taut as I can without breaking the twine, which I have done before. And then the only thing I need to do now is to give this a haircut. Let's see how this shoe is doing. Let's give it one more base coat. And I might need to pull out the heat tool for that one. Okay, I have to unplug one thing. Unplug one thing and plug in another. Okay. I only have 2 plugs over at this work table, and I have my glue gun, and that's what I'm gonna use on the little ribbons here. But I have my light plugged in, and then I have my heat tool, or I didn't have the heat tool, I had the glue gun plugged in. Okay, let's give this a quick haircut. I go from short to long. I'm gonna have to go let my dogs in. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're like, I'm done outside. There. And then that is just gonna go on there, just like that. So sorry for the interruption again. I'm gonna go let the dogs in. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. When you're the only one available to help out the dogs, you gotta help them. This is alive, right? Okay, let's do a little bit of highlighting on my witch shoe. And that won't take long to dry at all. While that's drying, we're going to glue this down. And then after, once I get everything put together, I might put a glue dot right there. When I put it on fabric, it takes longer to dry, but it will keep it from any of my ribbons sliding. If like I can slide these because I didn't tighten my knot as tight as I could have, but if I put this glue there, you won't see it once it dries, but then that way it will really help. It'll help to keep those from sliding around. Okay, now we have the correct shoe. My goodness. Poor witch. One shoe on, one shoe off. Imagine she doesn't care. She's in a cauldron full of trouble. Doesn't care whether she has her shoe on or off, right? Okay. Well, that lined up perfect. The placement, I just laid it right on where it needed to go. Okay. So now let's get to doing our cute ribbon on her shoes. And this is what I did right here to make the ribbon on the shoes. That's what we're gonna do right now. So I used, this is probably so this is, well, almost 3/4 of an inch. Well, it's about an inch. It's about an inch wide. So any wider ribbon, so this would obviously, it wouldn't work quite as well, at least for the technique that I did. So turn that around so that you can see that. So I'm done with that stick fast glue for now. Try to clean my area so you can see what I'm doing. So what I do is I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, and I started with 2 inches. So I've got like about a 2-inch, give or take a bit or two. It's okay. It's 2 inches. So I've got my 2 pieces that I'm going to do for her legs. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do an old-fashioned, just a quick whip stitch. So any thread, it doesn't matter the thread, even if it's a bright blue, it doesn't matter because I end up taking the thread out. So the first thing first is I wet my finger and then I'm going to make a knot at the very end. However you make a knot in the end of your thread, do that. And so I am going to actually go in the center and just do kind of like a zigzag, up stitch, down stitch, up stitch, down stitch. And that's all I'm doing right here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ruffle. If you're a sewer, you know you're familiar with this. If not, it's not complicated at all. So I'm going to just bring this up and see if you can see that. So I just took the thread, took the needle, and went up and down and up and down. And I ended on the up side. And then I'm going to pull it. Okay, I've already got my knot in the end. So here's my knot. So once I pull it, it creates a ruffle. Okay, so what I did now, so the center part, excuse me, Let's see if that's right, if that's what I was thinking. So I kind of, let me fold it. I'll fold it in half. Fold it in half, and then let's pull the thread. Okay, just like that. I'm trying to make sure. I did this like a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to make sure I know what I'm doing here. Okay. And once I have that, I actually just hold it with my fingers, hold the ruffle part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue and I am going to put hot glue just right at the base of where that shoe is. And it gets a little messy. And I have this little tool. And now I am just going to put the end down here. So this is the end, the folded end. Did I do the folded end? I think I did the folded end. So I'm just going to kind of keep it squished and put it into the hot glue. Okay, go ahead and tuck under some of those ends if you need to. Those frayed ends. Not really frayed, but they're the end of the ribbon. And I actually waited long enough that the hot glue is not burning my fingers because it was already starting to cool down. Okay, now I'm going to take the scissors and just cut my string. And surprisingly, I can't see where the other end of my string is because before I just pulled the string out. So no worries. And then if you have little ends, so I don't know if you can see, but here is the raw edge. I'm actually going to just take a dot of glue under here because you want it to kind of have that clean edge. You want to be able to try to fold those frayed edges underneath, those unclean edges, if that makes sense. Squish it in there with your finger. Okay, another tip is I have like some of the frayed edge sticking up here. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and it's underneath, but if I just cut it off, the top is going to fold over it and you're not going to see it. I hope this is all making sense. And then I'm just going to kind of pull the two pieces apart so they're just not laying together under each other. And I think they're all going to end up looking a little bit different. Whoops, if I can get it in the camera correctly. But anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing here. Okay, so let's start again. I hope I'm explaining it well enough for you. So I'm going to tie a knot at the very end. And then I'm going to do I'll go down and then up and then down and up. And I'm going like about 1/4 of an inch. It's okay if you go more. You don't really need to go less. You don't need to do lots of itty bitty stitches unless you want to, that's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it again. So now that I think I remember what I'm doing, I'm going to fold it in half. And I think I just had an idea, you guys. I think before what I did, I'm going to tie my knot again. So before what I did, now that I remember, now Now I remember why I was able to take my string out, because I went in the upper portion of one side or the other, not necessarily the center. And that's why I was able to take my string out. Okay, so let's pull that, and we're going to fold it in half. Just kind of keep a hold of that ribbon. And now we are going to do, yeah, see, that didn't work. That didn't work. It's got to be in the center. I told you it was a couple weeks ago when I made this. A couple weeks ago when I did this ribbon in her little stockings. Okay, we're going to go in the center, you guys. We're going to go in the center. I hope you have a piece of ribbon and you're practicing with me, because it might take a time or two to get, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 if you're me. Like I said, I just kind of made it up on my own. Okay, so I'm down in the center. I'm going to fold my piece of ribbon in half. And then I'm just going to pull and make a ruffle. Okay. Yeah, I think it needs to be in the center, at least for me. Okay, so we're going to take the hot glue and we're going to glue down here. At the base of that. And I just still have the needle, just the needle is just hanging on to the thread. It's okay. I just drag it around with me. So now I'm taking down to the center, the folded end, and I'm pushing it down into that hot glue. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm going to take the ends and fold them under just a little bit. See if I can stick it in the hot glue. And I can see I've got my end right here just all sticking out all crazy like. But we're going to fix it. You know what? Didn't even stick in my hot glue. Apparently I didn't go fast enough. I'm just going to put a little bit more hot glue in there. I'm going to pull my ruffle. And I got to go a little faster this time before my hot glue cools. If you want to take some of those ends and fold them under before you tuck it, you could do that. Okay. And I can see I have hot glue strings all over the place. But that's okay. Remember, you can clean all that up later. Let's go ahead and cut this string, because I think I have it in there well enough. Here's some more of my string. I have hot glue strings. Okay, now I'm going to put my needles so I know where it is in my little sewing kit. This is a little sewing kit that I've had for years. I made this in 7th grade. Oh my goodness, it's really old, but it travels really well because I take it everywhere I go. Like when I travel, it's with me in case you need to fix something. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue and I'm going to tuck these ends down. So they're underneath. And they won't both look the same as much as you want them to. And yours might. Yours might look perfect. So now I'll just cut any frayed edges that are sticking out. So now I'm going to separate the 2 pieces of ribbon, just so that they're not flat against each other. So that's it. I think we've about got it. I got all my ends tucked in where they needed to be. So it took a minute, and it took several minutes for me to remember how to do this, but there it is. And I think that that's super cute to have her little ruffles sticking out of her shoe as she's like, well, probably screaming in the cauldron, the poor thing. But anyway, gonna tip this back up, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Um, but it did take me a few minutes to remember how to put those cute little ruffles on her shoes. It's so fun. I hope you had a fun time watching this tutorial. And now I have two cute witch's cauldrons. So the last thing I will do with this is I'll take it out of the garage and spray it with a glitter spray. And what I used, I just used this, sorry, gotta find where the camera is. I used this glitter blast spray. I just pop it in. I have a great big box in the garage that I call it my spray box, my glitter box. It's full of glitter. And I will lay this in there, and then I'll just give it some good spritz, and then it will be all glittered up. And that's really fun for Halloween. But anyway, I hope you liked this tutorial and had a good time hanging out with me with painting and putting together this darling cute witch in a cauldron. Anyway, I hope you all have a fabulous day. And I will hop on here because I have more tutorials to come. We'll talk to you later. Bye.